This is where I had. Oh, there you go. There we go. That's what it is. Uh, Hey, Betty, how's it going?
Oh, you know. Team. We're taking
I feel like I'm proud of you. You see, because you're not sharing. Not sharing. Doesn't.
yeah. As soon as I walked in, that's
Just
to do all
Half of
that.
that, and they said, it's a council chamber. Okay, can you see it now? How's the audio? No. Like,
Did my computer-
I mean, I'm hearing stuff, but
I just joined. I'm joining now.
yeah, there is audio.
like no light from the key.
Yeah, it's working.
We do print.
That room, that.
Hit the power button.
I like you.
Does
I
not
think
like
Randy may still be in the back. Maybe.
Sure.
his door was closed. I don't know what. He read the simple option.
Yeah, just not.
Ask him stuff if he did.
Yeah.
That's probably easiest.
Worst things.
What's that?
I said, it's good to see you.
I think it's working.
Is it good to be seen?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So you're good. I'm gonna go with the
Oh, I
audio
don't
recorder.
believe
'cause
that at
I
all.
hate it. Yeah.
In a good.
In a good way.
Unless you're the
Okay.
one person that gets in trouble.
Thank you.
In which case, I'm the one with the ruler
Have a good one.
or the chancla.
Right.
Oh, before I pronounce it.
Yeah, nice thing. It's not like
I'm
you're
all
doing-
you squishy no guy with got a mess.
How to take a keyboard on there.
No.
Was it outside?
And they expect it.
Try control.
I don't want to get that trouble.
But
Hello.
nothing.
So sorry. Who's mine?
Fine. How you doing?
Dandy.
I like everybody for like a month.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Just like the, you know. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Hello. How are you?
Swapping my glasses.
Oh, I got a light.
Oh. Yeah. And annoyed.
And annoyed, yeah.
How are you, my friend?
Good. On the weights?
I've been trying to because I'm trying to get rid of this.
Yeah, well,
So
that's the, I mean, at our age, we could put on a muscle.
Mhm. I have lost some. So
You what?
I have lost. Gym in the morning, trying to, you know,
Yep.
How you?
Yeah, all's well. No complaints right now.
Wow.
I know. Just give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Anyway. Mm-hmm.
Have good holidays and all that.
You guys have picked up at all? Christmas people.
Yeah.
How's every kid going? This year we did
Batman's?
Batman series.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
watched all
With
of
the
that.
Christian Bale ones.
Depends on the year, and what we do is like last year.
You don't keep it to some sort of Christmas vibe.
No,
Okay.
no, we're
Because best Christmas movie ever.
not Die Hard for sure.
And so we always watch that one's always on the list.
Right.
I don't see.
Let's say no. I'll pull that. What the hell is that? Sorry, but you guys had a good Christmas?
Yeah, it was great.
Good.
My chair.
Hmm?
Nice. Well, shit, my grown 30.
Recycled.
Yeah, I'll pull it out. Those things, we had this grand plan. Yay, daughters. It didn't work out very good.
Yeah, not so much.
Which is terrible, but it is what it is, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
All right, my friend.
So tonight.
Well, actually, now we.
I'll see you on the other side.
Okay.
So he has it with
I do it as a hobby. I should talk that.
I don't know what it was, but it came up. So it came up and it had this blue diagnostic screen. Probably isn't some.
That installation just went out there again today and was.
Oh, we figured out why the number of kids.
Tucked up there. It looks so nice.
One school.
Oh, they did a good job. Yeah.
Jenny, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Yes. Yes. That they cut the cables, that's all.
It's just one of those things because I love it.
And she's.
You have to, well, check to see if basically just said,
But now we gotta do that.
if these people have some really good recommendations.
Compliment it.
It can be at the last minute.
Bruce. Bruce. You're so delighted. He's the nicest. And it'll be there.
So, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
But it just
when
was-
Bruce speaks, you can take it as seat in Hollywood, or you can stay to me, you know.
It's just one of those things I just. Today, we're just.
Yeah.
Like that.
They're, you can have their,
He's really good climbing.
once like they're out there, you can have.
A little overwhelmed up there.
Right. So if you have copies, you can.
And all the living space is upstairs. All the places that are- We went to Thanksgiving.
That's okay.
I keep things.
Happy New Year, Jenny.
Happy New Year. How are you?
All good in the world?
What's that?
All good in the world?
Yes.
Yeah. Oak key, which is nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Hiya. Good, good.
Well, when they do the swearing in ceremony.
Come see your last
I just
meeting.
wonder if I should move it.
This go around anyway. Yeah. Oh,
I know.
not, that's so nice. That's so nice.
Yeah, my neighbors.
I think I know why. I'm guessing. I'm guessing.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Castro.
For now, for now. I know.
I'll do it so you can see it. It's right over here. Takes a look right.
Daniel, did you move into your house yet?
No, not yet. That,
The show stopped on the road. It's beautiful. Very nice. Yeah, did you design it?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I really love the front of it. It's big and bold. Yeah, it's beautiful.
We're about to get the stone put on.
Either. No.
That was we picked red initially and then the roof turned out too blue. And we're like, so now it's going to be a whole lot of grays.
That'll be okay. That'll go good with the blows. And the weather's been so great.
You know,
Okay, you're my number one after the number.
That makes you number two.
That's twice now.
number two.
Number two, great. I'm number one and below.
No, he said he isn't very well. Touched it. It is absolutely just a beautiful. Yeah, they did a nice job. Lots of. It's good.
Oh, where is that? What's that?
There's
It's awesome.
They're a good group. Good group.
All the fancy people.
Just seen him like 12 times.
Patrick did build it. Yeah, Liberty built it. Oh, easy.
Pretend like we're in NFL.
These always a lot. I think
Yeah.
it was.
Not yet.
Hmm.
Calling the plays right now.
Where are we?
I don't know.
They just, you know, up behind, there was a couple people that's not supposed to have their road. This right here.
Oh, that's what we want. Nobody's ever said that.
It's a new. I think it's, you know,
That's crazy.
Started this.
I hope, because I sold the house next to it. Somebody needs.
They do this. He probably plays it.
Just right up to the gate.
Oh gosh, they've been doing that. No, they just
She wanted it over.
Simon. Me. Fun. Oh, it's felt what?
There are a bunch of them.
I haven't seen it come in recently. Cataract problems, my eyes. It's having a whole- Yeah, well,
That's what I was like.
I warned.
Yeah, I told him. I said,
And say joints, they're not as.
oh. Here it is.
about them. Things dirty.
Well, and now it's super too busy.
My father's getting more shit. Easy.
Is that it? No, what is? Subways, like. There's no.
Let's pull everything off of consent. Okay, you can give it to them.
I did start it, I told you.
Oh, okay.
Ready.
All right. We'll call this meeting to order. Tiffany, please take the roll.
Councilman Workla,
Present.
Present.
Councilman Harjo.
Present.
Mayor Snyder.
I am present. Let the record reflect that we do have a quorum for Tuesday, January 13th, 2026. First meeting of the new year. So with that, we'll go down to executive session number 1, pursuant to Idaho Code Section 74206(1) subsection F, to communicate with legal counsel for public agencies to discuss legal ramifications of legal options for pending litigation or controversies not being litigated, but immediately likely to be litigated.
We could just stick this at the end of the meeting rather than ask everybody to move or.
No, we would all just go in there really quick.
Oh, okay. You guys would kill me.
Brennan?
Make a motion to enter executive session pursuant to Idaho Code.
Second. It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Garvey, Councilman Brennan,
Aye.
Councilwoman Workla,
Aye.
Councilman Harjo.
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna run to executive session. We're gonna run here really quick. We'll be right back. Hey, nobody go anywhere. Sure. Councilman Lex, please.
Audio visual equipment is still recording everybody's.
Dancing on the grass.
No dance.
know, mine's session stuff. Just sounds like they're gonna get sued or. Yeah, potential litigation. They're supposed to come out. Give a little bit. There's a little cancer. Jeff from Boston. No.
Yeah, so I don't wanna go and.
If he has it in his. That's not. Right, everybody's a business. Do any of that, but if it was nursing. And she's still fighting it. He's down in this area, which makes it kind of hard because then you don't know. At least she works at. That's all right. Yeah. I don't like that. Yeah, they do not. I don't know. Cheers. There's some. Yeah.
Hi, Carrie.
Got work going out there. You're done. I know you have to dig it. Yeah. I can go all day. Also, the old council is voting on all this stuff then tonight. Because it isn't putting the new ones in. The big issue. Intensity debated last month. I have one down by me, I believe. It's on 15th and Time. And where you stop, you get black. It's a red flashing, and man, it really gets your attention. Fact, you're not looking right there on the side of 30 years. You're exact. That would be a great place. It's just so hard because anything that's a state IDT and IDT does their plans. I mean, you got to start. Because they need to talk about. Rehabilitation. New postage.
How are you? Sorry. Trying not to cough. How are you? Out of here.
Yes, they want to have a soda drive up.
Fun?
What back is building, so. And you push in your room. But again, it's gonna dump. American Legion team, and that also is.
I'm aware. Feel free to, when you, or,
Even make it. Yeah, at the back.
bring it, you know,
Look at it.
just bring it. I'm sure you will bring it as you always do. Down here, we should.
Oh, so he's allowed. From mudslingers and that is considered county, when the city came through and raided the water, when they did the home park. They incorporated. They
I really appreciate it.
and they wanted to make her. So she said, I don't want her. And you can raid myself up, and now she's decided. I think it has something. Memory serves.
Yeah, did they cross? And it's signed that. That now.
So do I do it after the sine die or the oath, after the oath, after the remarks? Okay. Not funny, guys. Okay. Come back into session. We're gonna run down to an invitation. So with that, can I get Kim Anderson to come down really quick? So Kim, we want you, as a token of our thanks and gratitude, thank you for allowing Marty to be a part of our family. Marty crushed it because there's always there's two of you, and on behalf of the city and my wife Kim and Tiff and the rest of us, thank you for allowing Marty to do what he did. It doesn't go unnoticed, and we appreciate you, and here's a token of our thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Colonel Gunther, Chief Rhodey, I want to thank you for coming down and on behalf of the 366 gunfighters, you guys are our extended family. You are huge warriors, lethal. You are the fighting force that we all take care of you here when you guys are doing the things you have to do downrange. And so we appreciate everything you guys do. And for you to take some time out of your night to come down here, we appreciate that from the city's family. Military Affairs, thank you. Thank you guys for coming down as well. Sean, President of the Chamber, thank you for making some time tonight as well. We appreciate you being here. And then everybody else that's here for this award, thank you. It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't go unnoticed. And I think that this award will showcase some of the things that what Marty has done. So with that, Marty Anderson. Marty Anderson is the embodiment of a lifelong service. After a distinguished career as Chief Master Sergeant of the United States Air Force, Marty chose not to step away, but to step up, and step forward, continuing his mission as military liaison for the city of Mountain Home. In that role, he didn't just fill a position, he transformed it into a powerful force for partnership, advocacy, and progress. Marty became the trusted bridge between Mountain Home Air Force Base and the community he calls home. Through vision, persistence, and credibility earned over decades of service, he elevated local voices to the Idaho State House and Capitol Hill, ensuring Mountain Home Air Force Base's mission, people, and the future were never overlooked. His leadership helped secure millions of dollars of infrastructure and resilience funding, strengthening Mountain Home's position as one of the nation's premier defense communities. Most importantly, Marty's work directly improved the lives of airmen and their families. He led advocacy efforts that resulted in a $110 million water sustainability partnership between the state of Idaho and the Department of the Air Force, an investment critical to protecting the long-term viability of the base and its $930 million economic impact. The single project safeguarded missions readiness and ensured reliable resources for thousands of service members and their families. Under Marty's leadership, the community also secured over $4.5 million in infrastructure improvements to expand the water and stormwater capacity. Also, $427,000 for local school improvements, an additional federal resilient planning grant that enabled smart growth of new housing developments, all while reducing the tax burden on local residents. Marty's advocacy also protected the base's operational future. When the loss of the F-15 squadron threatened the installation, his coordination with local leaders, congressional partners, and senior Air Force officials helped secure the reassignment of the squadron to Mountain Home, preventing an estimated 200 to 250 million annual economic loss and preserving critical training and jobs. Marty's story teaches us powerful lessons. When trust is built, relationships are nurtured, and advocacy is consistent, even a small community can shape outcomes at the highest level. His legacy provides that dedicated leadership can generate hundreds of millions of dollars in impact, protect national defense missions, and improve the daily lives of those who serve. For his unwavering commitment, strategic vision, and profound impact on service members, their families, and the entire defense community, Marty Anderson truly exemplifies what it means to be the 2025 Defense Community Champion. Marty, I know I just said a lot, but come on down. So Tiff and Marty have this unsung relationship that is unwavering.
So first, just like thank Mayor and the team. He talked about some of the accomplishments, but those don't go without the partnership again with military affairs community, 366 Fighter Wing leadership, who to be part of this, but also with the mayor and the team. And I think it doesn't go, it's not said loud enough that the Herculean efforts that him and the department directors take every day to sustain our community, both our communities, is actually phenomenal. So again, very much appreciate what you guys do. And I hope because of that, that Mountain Home is actually identified as a great American defense community that you guys are. But also what that'll do is in 5 to 7 years is going to be a huge discussion about the future of Mountain Home Air Force Base. And if you guys are selected for that award, which I believe you are deserving, that would be huge to ensure the long-term viability for the next 20, 30 years. Again, Mayor, I hope you guys get that under your leadership. It's truly, and department directors, you guys are phenomenal. Appreciate it. I'm just beside myself, so thank you very much.
Thank you.
Post.
And sorry, sorry about that.
Got it. Thank you.
Big Tiff has a.
I gave it
Oh,
to him. Yep.
Okay. We're going to run down to recognizing persons in the audience. Anyone would like to speak? Decker. Oh, sorry. Bud, hang on 1 second. Sorry. Hey, he's gonna go first, really quick. Bud, come on down.
I'd like to thank all the council men and women, fine job they've done. And I'd like to thank you for your common sense. You too, Danielle, for keeping the budget hopefully in line. And Daniel and Jenny too. So again, thank you.
Decker.
Maybe my last chance to do this for 4 years. Although we should- I'd be amazed if you didn't. Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I'm Decker Sanders. I've lived in Mountain Home. I'm speaking in reference to item number 12 on your consent agenda in this document. I'd like to draw your attention to paragraph 6, which provides a payment schedule of 45 days and includes, and I quote, "The city shall include this payment process within the contract with the selected contractor," unquote. The GUHO contract under Article 10, payment, at 10.2.1 reads in pertinent part, quote, "The owner shall pay the amount otherwise due on any payments as certified by the design no later than 15 days after accepting such application." You may wish to, since it's a shall, see about getting that language in this document you have before you tonight into the actual contract. I'm also going to caution that the simple substitution of the GMP in place for the first Exhibit B project budget does not reflect the total project cost, as the quote city scope unquote amounts in the original are zeroed out in the GMP revision 01. Thank you. Thanks, Decker.
Anybody else? Okay, we're going to run down to conflict of interest declaration. Has any council member received information pertaining to or otherwise any contact with any person regarding any items on this city council agenda? If so, please set forth nature of contact. Councilwoman Workla?
I spoke with Decker Sanders regarding number 4 on the consent agenda. No conflict of interest.
Councilwoman Garvey?
See,
Okay. All right. With that, we'll run down the consent agenda. Has any, is there anything that you want to pull out the consent agenda, talk about further, get better clarification on anything from items number 1 all the way through item number 17,
Mayor.
Councilwoman Workla.
So I want clarification, or if I need to pull number 3 on consent agenda regarding the special city council minutes. I don't want to approve the consent agenda until I get clarification, even though I know it's on old business number 3. I'm going to just read here what the minutes reflect. Councilman Brendan made a motion to approve the and authorize execution of the document, and everyone said aye. Then the motion passed. So, no, I'm sorry. I said nay. Wait, hang on. I get that one. I apologize. Reading the wrong one. Sorry. Councilman Brendan made a motion that reallocated money of parks, streets, water, and wastewater or any other city department was not necessary at this time. Councilwoman Workless seconded the motion. Okay, so then everyone said aye and the motion passed by unanimous. Then when I watched the video after the meeting was finished, you said something about in-kind. And then I didn't catch what Councilman Brendan said after that. So the minutes reflect correctly to what I seconded the motion to.
Okay.
I just want to clarify, or want you to clarify what you were saying about in-kind work. Was there, what were you
Was it the in-kind, like you were fine with in-kind? I think that's what I asked you, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm okay with the kind of work.
so Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
So the motion was that there will not be any reallocation of monies from parks, streets, water, wastewater, or any other departments at this time. In-kind work would fall in that. You're using labor, resources, manpower, all that time, that would technically fall into that.
Paul, what's your take on that?
The way it's worded, at least, the way referencing enterprise funds is that they could only be used for limited purpose. In-kind work doesn't have that limitation. And so at least as far as that is concerned, if that was I don't remember, or maybe I wasn't here. I wasn't here for all this. So I don't know what you're talking about. But I would say that the reason why you can't utilize, enterprise funds for that and that's allocated is for that reason. In-kind work doesn't have that prohibition. However, anything beyond that might be valid, your concerns. But you can use in-kind work.
That doesn't sit well for me, Mayor.
Okay.
So I will pull that so that can go.
Item 3, city council minutes. You want to pull the minutes?
Well, I don't want to vote on the consent agenda because that falls underneath that because I disagreed with, I said aye, and then I didn't catch what you said at the end. And there was no second to that motion that you mentioned with in-kind work. And then I didn't hear what Daniel or Councilman Brendan said. So that got snuck in after I seconded the motion. So that motion doesn't sit well with me. So I don't want to approve the consent agenda for the special meeting minutes because that.
Councilman Garvey? I remember that at this time, we don't need to use the water piping, and that's all it was. That's what I remember. Okay, you want to pull that up on your laptop's right there, huh? Pull that up really quick so we can listen. We can go in there really quick.
Could go get it.
Take a quick recess. We're gonna run in there. Paul? Come in here with us. Watch.
Why do we have to have a recess?
Go watch that.
Listen.
I want everyone to hear it.
Can we pull it up here? I don't care.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I could pull it off my phone.
Okay. While we're waiting on that, the video's still going, right? We're still on live?
It's still.
Still.
Okay. While we're waiting on that, is there anything else on the consent? Pull
I didn't catch entirely all that. I hadn't gotten it open before Decker was talking about 12, so I don't know if there's something there or not.
Councilwoman Garvey.
That was going to be my ask as well, was can I get clarification on blank number and the other part? What? Andrews was discussing.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
so could we pull 12, please?
You're pulling through two or you're waiting?
Um, let's, well, so
Keep the meeting going.
I know that it's on
Okay,
old
we'll just pull it
business, but I do not want to vote for consent agenda because
and pull 12.
vote
You
that
pull
was on this
3 and
special
12,
meeting.
you can keep the meeting.
Okay.
Fix 3 later.
Okay.
Councilman Brennan.
Pickle per. If something is pulled here and moved to new business, then council will.
Would be on the old business. Right?
It would go down to old business.
Yeah, it goes to old business. So it's still your meeting, quote unquote.
Okay, with that, so far I have agenda item number 3 pulled and then 12 pulled. Is there anything else on the consent agenda that you want to? If not, do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda pulling 3 and 12?
Mayor,
Councilman Harjo?
real quick, I wanted to say thanks to city staff, public works on consent item 10 and 9 and 10. For some context, this resolution and grant documentation for the installation of a high-intensity activated crosswalk and authorizing the mayor and city clerk to sign. Some backstory to that being that that's one of the most indicated intersections on our master transportation plan for danger to vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to pedestrian. That corridor being close to the schools, this is a wonderful step in the right direction. A lot of effort into as a city, Public Works putting a lot of effort into with engineering. I'm glad to see this move forward. Just wanted to say that.
Thanks. Councilman Brennan?
Also, just for the record, today we received an update for item number 17. Just make sure. Item number given to us.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Workla?
are they here tonight? The sipping soda?
I don't think so, no.
Mayor. Regarding that, they usually like findings of fact.
I just want to make
Typically,
sure
that's
they
not
were
one
okay with it.
Not one that we've invited. or
Mayor,
required there.
Councilwoman Workla?
I just want to make sure they're okay with the change.
Councilman Brennan?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda, pulling items number 3 and 12.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Harjo?
Aye.
Councilwoman Workla?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan? Councilwoman Garvey? All right. While we're waiting for items removed from the consent agenda, let's go down to old business number 2. Approve agreement with Azuga to authorize mayor to sign. Council?
Mayor.
Councilman Harjo?
Question for Paul. You and I have had a couple talks about the Azuga contract and what the implications of some of that data acquisition are. Have you had time to look over the contract as it sits in the packet?
Yeah, the contract as it sits should be the same one that I not exactly wrote. Well, I wrote it, then it was modified, then I approved the modifications of it. That still was it appears to be the same thing. It doesn't look like anybody's changed anything. But the concerns stand, subject to a public records request. I think it is. Unless you are the public works individual is, you know, looking at SCADA or any of the things that would lead a would-be terrorist to be able to discern schedules of when they're going through schematics, the inner workings of the system. You could do that for the matter of public safety, but that would be on a case-by-case basis. So my bottom line on it is people use these types of things all over the country and they, you know, they make it work, you know, but we would have to be very careful on if we do get a public records request of the video or that software feature, just to make sure there's nothing in there that undermine the efficacy of the city systems to terrorists.
Councilman Brennan?
What's the, I guess, the reason for the request here? Not super expensive, but still another addition.
It's for, it's tracking software for all of our vehicles, knowing where they're all at. It's another good tool to use for, incentives. So, part of this program, it allows us to obviously one, see who's speeding, who's not, who we get, every once in a while, we'll get calls from people saying, oh, we had I'll just use Public Works. Had a Public Works vehicle, out in the county speeding going 55 miles an hour. And we're like, so it'll help us track every vehicle, who's speeding, who's not, who's following the laws, who's doing everything copacetically. And then the neat thing too about it is it also does a reward program for said people, obviously, people that drive well. You got an intake on that one too, Chris?
So the other big piece of this one is that if we have citizens that state so a sweeper hit a vehicle, we can determine whether or not the sweeper was actually in the area, that kind of thing. Incentive piece is pretty cool because the incentive piece will track the speed that they're going, the force that they use in braking, turning, swerving, any alerts that the newer vehicles will give off can be used by the city to award our best driver of the month. Better behavior of the vehicle. So.
We get, I wouldn't say quite a few, but we get a few citizens that say, oh, we had Parks and Rec or Public Works, or we had some vehicle driving by my house at a high rate of speed. And we're like, well, some of the trackers aren't tied. Some of them are, they're really expensive. A lot less expensive tracking system. Councilman Hardjo?
Question for yourself and staff. Is the target for this to put it in all just street going equipment at this point? Like in terms of like registered vehicles? Or are we looking to do this for like say anti-theft of like a backhoe or something in addition to?
I don't think theft for a backhoe, but definitely anything that touches the pavement. We've actually had people say, "Oh, I saw a loader going super fast." So I've had, which wasn't ours. It was another. We have a couple of entities currently in town that are ripping up streets and stuff like that aren't ours. But we can tell them, hey. I would say anti-theft. It would be more software system we just discussed.
Understood. Thank you.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey.
this is probably going to sound very elementary, but is there not the capability of numbering? And if somebody drives by, vehicle number 13 going too fast, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud as far as listening to council's concerns about public records requests and also, yeah, anyway, that was just a quick thought.
We have the Verizon ones in there, and it's expensive. These ones are a lot less expensive.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Workla?
So subtotal is $1,486. Is that annually,
It's a monthly.
monthly? What's the Verizon charge? I just want to compare the two.
Ooh. If do you know by chance? I'd have to get that. I'd have to get back to you. I don't want to shoot from the hip and misquote it, but I think the cars were, don't quote me on that, like $10 a month versus the $40 a month. But let me look up that. I don't want to misquote it and tell you one thing and it's a different.
Mayor,
Councilwoman, Workla.
I'll make a motion to table old business number 2 to the next city council meeting. So we can compare the numbers between what we're paying right now, Verizon, and what this new company would charge. Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Workla.
Aye.
Councilman Brent. Councilwoman Garvey.
Aye.
Councilman Harjo.
Aye.
Okay. Tiff, you ready? Or do you want me to go to number?
I think so. You're gonna.
Oh, hang on a second. Go ahead.
Numbers that are
You
comparable.
don't want the Verizon bill to go through, right? You want it
Numbers.
broken down.
Numbers that are comparable between the charges that he says that in right now to what they would charge.
Okay, so you don't. Higher Verizon bill to go through.
The ones we currently have vehicles. Just those. Okay. Easy.
Get it on that screen. Get them all up there. Which to present your.
You'll be able to compare it apples to apples because you don't have 86.
Well, no, like what the current, let's just take 5 of the cars or one car.
It won't be apples to apples.
Okay. I think I've got it to right where the motion. I don't know if this has volume.
I want to point out, Mayor,
Go ahead.
I want to point out too, this meeting was scheduled during my work hours, which I didn't appreciate. So I had to call in, I had to rearrange my lunch, I rearranged a lot of things at work, to take my lunch at the time that you guys provided this. I couldn't hear everything. And so that's why this is being brought up right now. So, I would appreciate if we could actually have meetings, special meetings when,
I'd also like to know if he ever changed his shirt.
Same shirt. It's a nice shirt. The same, it's a new year.
It's a new year. Okay. I'm hoping the audio will work. Anybody hear anything? No. On my computer now. Great.
Mic down to it.
Put my mic. Okay. Really? That's what we're gonna do? Okay. This is.
So not only do we have an excess of 1.3, but we also have this contingency funds that part of this project that could be used if needed. Does that make more sense? Thank you. Build a website you love. What is?
For people.
For yours. Create.
And a commercial, sorry.
Just like to clarify that tree replacement and the city hall tree replacement, those funds are budgeted annually to replace trees within our parks. So this facility will have trees and plants. So it's no different than how we've spent the funds in the years. We're just gonna acknowledge them solely to this facility in the downtown.
Continue on that topic to say that it appears at this time that there is absolutely no need to reallocate any money for treatment of water or wastewater some emergency or disaster were to happen. Deal with that, but at this point, it looks like we just start this project. I think it's project without valid. I vote necessary, right? Vote to not, that you make a motion that reallocation is not necessary. Just that, I'll make a motion. State for the record, basically, the allocation is not necessary.
Mayor. Will the maker of the motion clarify exactly it's not necessary from what departments are listed on the agenda?
Allocation. No need for reallocation on park streets, water, wastewater. For any other city department, to my knowledge.
Second,
Okay, what'd I say?
so are you guys okay with? I couldn't hear what Councilman Brennan said.
So, dang it.
Mayor. Councilman Harjo.
That's processing.
Um, Councilman Brennan, the attorney Schroeder whispered to him, not at this time. So he said, the reallocation of these funds, not at this time, was the last statement he made. Not in kind. Brennan did not say in kind. He said at this time.
And then,
There was, I'll hit play again, but that's what you missed. When he motioned, he said there's no need for reallocation of those funds at this time.
Mayor. And then I second that. And I second that.
Mhm.
And then the mayor said, after I second the motion, what about, are you guys okay with the in-kind work? And then Councilman Brennan, I think said something like, I'm okay with that or something like putting that into the motion. And then I didn't catch any of that because again, I was remote. And then I would not have said aye to my second if you're trying to push the in-kind.
I'll continue hitting the audio, but I mean the overlapping of the two speakers. That is legal asked him to add, and we were telling him at this time, and Garvey's whispered to him, you need to have this time. That's what Jeff wanted. So then I'm gonna hit play and it will continue, okay?
Second,
This time, finishing. All right, there's been a motion in a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call Councilwoman Garvey.
Yes, I do have one quick. It is my hope, although I will not be here after 1 month, it is my hope that the city going forward does not. I don't know how to say this. I'll just say it. I just hope that the city does not projects like this again. As far as what they. This, in my opinion, was the city going out to bid the job, and that's not how I feel that, I personally feel that. It's my wishes going forward. The city of Mountain Home.
Second, any further discussion? And then Hi, Councilman Brennan. Hi, Councilwoman Portla.
aye.
Brennan. So I'd end on another comment. Wow. Like I said, most of
Councilman Brennan.
I believe the motion at the very least was crystal clear. The language that came through it. If I'm not saying there was, if there was a little side chatter, it had nothing. It was not entered into the motion. So I think the motion is what it was and it passed.
Mayor.
Councilwoman Workla.
Okay, so nothing about in-kind work. So, Mayor,
Councilwoman Workla.
where it says the words not necessary at this. Was that what legal wanted to put in there? Because at this time could be at this time or a couple weeks or like where did it, right? Like the reallocation could come up later. Is that what the intent?
I don't know. Councilwoman Garvey.
I mean, I won't speak, but Paul was not here, but in my opinion, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that actually, it was that we had a document in front of us, and that's what I was, when I had went over those numbers with you again, we had a document in front of us that was stating how much was going to come out of each set of the budgets. It was out of streets, and I'm just going off the top of my head, streets, parks, and wastewater. So we had that document in front of us, and I don't believe you had it in front of you. That said, just round numbers, $100,000 was going to come out of streets, 100,000 was going to come out of wastewater. At the time of the motion, we took that out of there. So to clarify your question, yes, it could come up in the future and you can vote no. But at the time that we made the motion at the special meeting, we were saying, we don't want that money to come out of those departments. We want that money to stay in those departments because we had fulfilled the entire project in its entirety and we had excess money of $153,000. So maybe that was part of the motion that wasn't clear to you, was Councilman Brennan was saying, we don't need to allocate this money for this 25-26 budget.
Mayor.
Councilwoman Workla.
So why was that even an agenda item to throw confusion in the whole thing? Because I also want to point out, I did not get the numbers that you were referencing until real time when the meeting started. So for me to review a document with all those numbers right when the meeting starts, is not cool, right? It's not fair. And so now why was that even an item why was even 4 on there then?
Yeah, talk that way.
Yeah.
Mayor.
Hang on 1 second. Councilman Harjo.
We all received that information. That particular sheet was on our dais when we came in, and I believe got emailed to you at the same time, that within the minutes that we received that. So like, yes, it is difficult to uptake data about funding in real time. But that agenda item was the placeholder in case there were other things in which now, and at the time of that, we've come to understand that there was an excess of $153,000+ that ensures that the city does not have to come out of pocket for hard goods related to this project, that is funded in full.
Tiff.
The document wasn't included in the packets at any confusion. The document. Harvey and other members had requested it in previous discussions of how we were going to expend those funds before we knew URA would add to it.
Sure, Mayor.
Councilwoman Workla.
And moving on in the future, do not give it to me right when a meeting starts, and don't schedule meetings when I'm at my other place of employment without asking if I can attend that meeting or not. That happened 2 special meetings in a row. Moving on from that, I think we're gonna have to have a special meeting this. I want to discuss this with the new council coming on board. So maybe that's something that we might need to do.
Okay. So we're gonna run down to old business, items removed from the consent agenda. Councilwoman Workla pulled item number 3, so I'll let you talk about item number 3.
Just did.
Okay. Council, what do you want to do with item number 3?
Mayor,
Councilman Harjo.
make a motion to approve the consent or the special city council minutes from December 16th, pulled from consent.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Brennan.
Aye.
Councilman Harjo. Councilwoman Garvey.
Aye.
Councilwoman Workla.
Nay.
Run down to the other thing pulled off the consent with item number 12. Paul, have you had a chance to look at that really quick?
No, because
Okay, hang on one second then. I'm gonna let Councilwoman Garvey go while you're looking. I'm sorry, unless you already looked at it. You said no, I was just,
No, I mean, I didn't, Decker was using his 3 minutes judiciously and I couldn't track it and I couldn't get it open in time. So I don't know what sections he was talking about.
Mayor.
hang on a second, Councilwoman Garvey, sorry. You pulled it.
Mayor, I did pull it, but with Paul, I'd like to, I don't know, how do we call Mr. up here?
Yeah, absolutely. You know
I
what,
mean,
Decker, we're gonna do something
why not?
unorthodox today and have you come down and give our legal some help.
You talk too darn fast.
I only had 3 minutes.
I know.
Decker, will you show them on the,
Okay. Which document are you holding?
I'm holding, I think I have open this JUB compensation package. Is that what you were referring to on the
it'd be
railroad?
GUHO, not JUB.
Guho.
GUHO.
Go to the GUHO contract.
Before or after it?
That's a separate document.
Chris.
Chris.
Hard history.
Just 3 minutes. Whatever we're missing, council-elect, I'm sure we can fix
I
it
don't
through
think Or I don't have it because now I'm in.
I have an electronic copy of it on the city laptop. I can share it.
Find that agreement.
It's under, Paul, you're gonna find it in the GUHO contract. And under the document you have before the council right now. That paragraph 6.
Okay, I still haven't found it yet.
JUBs.
I can't find anything that says Google.
Guho's not in the packet.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah, it's like I don't have it.
Guho was approved on the 16th.
So all that's
The,
approved already.
I don't have, then I don't know. I'm not, I can't, there's nothing.
Approve amendment to.
So the document before the council tonight asks them to approve something that carries language that requires the language in this document before the council be incorporated into the contract with the contractor. Uses the operative shall. So it's got to be in there.
Oh, I see.
And
what
it's
you're saying.
not.
So
So I'm
that,
pointing out where in there's a conflict with the language that's supposed to be put in there under the document under consideration.
okay, so what let me paraphrase back. You're saying this document, item number 12, needs to have something in it that incorporates and as if stated in full, this prior
This
GUHO document, but then you're noting that there's a conflict between the two.
on paragraph 6 in the article, in the document before the council tonight, it talks about payment.
Right.
And it says in that paragraph, near the end of it, it says, quote, "The city shall include this payment process," and that's a payment schedule of 45 days from the time the bill's presented. And it says that this process, that payment schedule, the city shall include this payment process within the contract with the selected contractor. Our selected contractor is GUHO.
Right.
Their contract document talks about payment in Article 10. And that says the owner shall pay the amount otherwise due on any payment as certified by the design professional no later than 15 days after accepting such application. So you got a conflict.
We got 45 days, we got 15 days. I got you.
And you're about to vote on a document for one of the major funders of the project that clearly has a requirement that not currently exists, nor has it been offered to your contractor to be included.
And then I
So
also would
the amendment, I found it.
not conform to the statute.
Councilman, sorry, Harjo.
There's maybe an apples to lemons here, since that this agenda item is pertains strictly to the city's agreement with the URA as the funding agency. And in the process of how the URA funds the city project, because this is a city project that is being fully adopted through donation and URA funding. This is our agreement with the URA for the city. Our agreement to pay GUHO
It's only 2 pages.
becomes a pass-through of funding from the URA to GUHO. I think the focus on the verbiage here is
6.
a great catch. I think the way that we're looking at this might be as if GUHO and URA are having an agreement to pay when we are the pass-through for that. So that agreement standing alone and this agreement standing alone, I don't know that it creates a conflict because they're gently interreliant, but not. Our agreement with the URA is also not the URA's agreement with GUHO.
So council,
What do you want to do?
Councilman Brennan.
I understand it to be the same way as Councilman Harjo says, essentially like we float the payment, we make the payment, they pay us back. I don't have any issues with it.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Garvey.
can I go back to what Paul said? I understand. So we're talking about two different items. I get that. But with that said, you did say something that caught me is that it's against state statute on the GUHO portion of the 2 dates. So although we are currently dealing with our agreement with the URA, which is what we can approve and move on, maybe we need to
The 15-day provision the city is not expected to be able to turn around.
right.
a
You don't
payment
have
within a
council meetings
15-day
that quick.
period, and
Yeah.
that tracks the statute.
Okay.
So it's when he said the 15-day, that is what made my eyebrows go up.
Okay. Can we
So-
fix that?
Yeah,
Going
what we'll do is we'll change that agreement with GUHO to make that more of a, with 30 days or whatever it is that, like, this one's 45 with the URA. You know what I mean?
Right.
Good catch.
Mayor.
You want to, so is that
I
something?
wonder what
we
you
can-
did for a living.
Is that something we can change? I mean, obviously it has nothing to do with this contract. This one is what it is. Now you listen to me.
Was there-
Councilwoman Workla.
Thank you. Was there 2 things? Was there 2 things?
No,
that you-
that was the only one.
Was there only one that you?
That's the only one.
Okay.
And of course, my concern is that, yes, the city winds up floating a bill until they get reimbursement that could be as far as 30 days out.
Mayor,
Councilman Harjo.
again, this is all great conversation. There's also a timing factor in that our agreement with GUHO preceded the reboot of this document due to Councilwoman Garvey going and advocating with the URA. So like this document has come after the point in which we've already authored and approved the contract with GUHO. So again, like there's some interreliance in terms of what we float payment wise, but this is not uncommon in the municipal realm, especially for projects that we have funding agreements for.
Okay. I'll definitely look at that and bring it back.
Yeah.
That's an easy fix.
Mayor,
So, Councilwoman Workla.
would we need to table that so then you can make the changes and then?
That one's that's a different contract. This one is
The 45-day one is
Fine.
fine.
and that's this one
Oh, okay.
tonight. Councilman Brennan.
Make a motion to approve amendment number 1 to the construction and development reimbursement agreement. Agency for the railroad park.
Second.
Been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Thanks, Council-elect Sanders. It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Garvey.
Aye.
Councilman Harjo.
Aye.
Councilman Brennan. Councilwoman Workla.
Aye.
Okay, run down to item number 3, discussion regarding Councilman Brennan's motion pertaining to action number 4, special meeting discussion, etc. I think we've discussed that one, so you want to move on, or do you still want to take on that one? Or talk about this one, sorry.
We made our motion to reflect that in the consent agenda. So, I feel like my vote got corrected.
Okay, run down to ordinance 1813 to zone C3 Albatross Green. For the council, Councilman Brennan.
This is the right timing here. I'll make a motion that, right, we suspend the 3 readings and read this ordinance by title only for its one.
It's been, sorry, I thought to say, it's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Workla, Councilman Harjo.
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey.
Aye.
Councilman Brennan. Tiff, please read the ordinance.
Ordinance 1813, an ordinance of the city of Mountain Home, Idaho,
Council, you have heard this ordinance read. Do you wish it to pass? Councilman Brennan.
Aye.
Councilwoman Workla.
Aye.
Councilwoman Garvey.
Aye.
Councilman Harjo. Run down to my presentation, but really quick, we're going to run down to I guess my presentation's short and sweet in the aspect of I just want to I'm going to give you a couple of things, but tell Councilman Brennan and Councilman Garvey, thank you for your service. I think you have left Mountain Home better than you found it with your leadership and the things that we've been able to do and accomplish. I think you both can hang your hat on some of the coolest things the city's ever seen. So on behalf of the city of Mountain Home, I have a couple of cards for you both. And with that, I will turn it over to Councilwoman Garvey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mayor. I wrote some notes, left them at home. So I'm just gonna go ahead and, first, I want to say thank you to my husband. Honestly, without him, this would have been probably the hardest 4 years of my life. So thank you. And also, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank my amazing group of friends and family that have been by my side, listened to me and helped me off the cliff a few times. This has been the most rewarding 4 years. I've appreciate everybody that's taken their time to help me to understand the processes that we make these tough votes. A lot of people have reached out to me recently saying that they'll miss me, and I appreciate that. This is hard. It's finished with my bachelor's degree, and I'm not done yet. Just done for a minute. And I've always appreciate the city helping me. I know that times were tough a few times, but again, I appreciate it. I enjoyed working with all of you guys, and I've taken a lot. This is not the end of my term, but or the end of this term, but I've appreciated everybody and thank you. So, Councilman Brennan.
Councilman Brennan.
Well, I wrote a really boring speech and I'm nervous about reading it, but if you'll bear with me, I'll just read, okay, so I don't miss anything here. It's been an incredible 8 years since I started my service as an elected member to the city council. I'd like to start by expressing my gratitude to my wife, Brittany, who's hiding in the back there, who has been by my side since nearly the beginning. There have been many days and nights along the way that have kept me away from home, and she has always been incredibly gracious and I'd like to thank everyone who supported me during either of my campaigns to get elected. Specifically, a couple of people, Brian, I told him I'd name him, who helped me move my billboard trailer around town while I was on a cruise vacation, ensuring it had maximum exposure. And my buddy Casey, who always encouraged me in every step of the process. I'd like to thank the Idaho State Police District 3 leadership, as well as the command staff for providing me with the flexibility of scheduling so that I could continue to serve my community in another role. I'd also like to thank the citizens that have allowed me to serve for them for the last 8 years. Whether you voted for me or not, I hope that I have earned your trust. Although we all know that a public servant who is entrusted with your voices will never seem to get it right 100% of the time forever. It is still my hope that each of you found value in my service. As I recently said, my goal was never to leave a legacy, but rather to do the best things for our citizens as a whole. If a business or an individual person came to the council with a request that benefited them, but was fundamentally detrimental to the city, I would not support it. If the request was good for all, or at least a majority, in my eyes, I was happy to support it. To the fantastic staff that make the city operations happen, thank you for all that you do. The expectations aren't always easy and certainly mandate some late hours for some of you. It is your drive for excellent service to our community that ensures our citizens receive everything they deserve and more with their hard-earned tax dollars. To our two new council members, I am confident you will do great. I encourage you to trust that the city staff at all levels are trying to do their absolute best with the resources that they have. Although you may disagree at times about an expense, a project, a budget, an ordinance, a decision of the executive, the actions of a staff member or citizen, you should keep an open mind, research the potential outcome and impact, and make the best decision for the greatest good. Please do not let an individual person or entity sway you for their own personal agenda that is not in the interest of the majority. You must recognize that the loudest voice is not always synonymous with the voice of the majority. I'd like to leave the city's executive leadership team with a few challenges. This is for you guys here. I challenge you to get a permanent restroom facility in Legacy Park. I challenge you to keep moving forward with small steps that will eventually lead to a full-time fire department. I challenge you to complete the earlier goal of widening Haskett Street in preparation for intersection improvements at Airbase Road. I challenge you to successfully recruit additional commercial enterprises, such as another grocery store and restaurants, which will help provide options and lower the tax obligation for every property owner in our great town. I challenge you to incentivize R1, R2, and R3 development. I challenge you to improve the relationship between us and the county commissioners and the county sheriff. I challenge you to not increase, but rather decrease the amount of micro trenching used on our roads by using other proven methods. I challenge you to think critically, weighing the pros and cons of leasing vehicles and equipment versus outright purchasing them. I challenge you to always be frugal in your budget requests and invite your council members into your workspace to demonstrate the value of the new piece of equipment. I have two challenges for every property taxpayer in our community. First, a major improvement to our wastewater system is likely to be addressed by your new city council members and city staff in the near future. I challenge each of you to be actively engaged in this process. Let your voices be heard and know that it could create a major increase in our utility bills. Understand this: if we do nothing, the time will come when we run out of space to store your poop, literally. Second, I challenge each and every one of you to watch how the process plays out for our future dispatch contract. Pay attention to the decision makers, critique how it unfolds, and contact your elected representatives at the city and county level to voice any concerns that you may have. To those of you who push a personal agenda attacking one of our public servants or a constant cry for transparency, I will first acknowledge that there is always room for improvement. I will also acknowledge that I haven't always felt that I've been provided with all information necessary to make a fully I will say in these moments, if I ask for further information and specify what I'm asking for, the city staff has never held back. It can be an enormous task to provide every bit of information possible. As far as communication from the city towards the citizens go, I believe that this is a very transparent city. Every journalist, whether independent or professional, puts their own bias into their reporting, and some more than others. I encourage each citizen to reach out to your department heads and elected leaders if you have any on actions or decisions of the city. And sometimes you will have to understand that there is valuable reason for secrets. or information shared only with city staff inside of an exit. It is not in the city's best interest for the city council or staff to discuss land acquisition publicly while a deal is being negotiated, or to publicly discuss privileged communication with our legal counsel, or to discuss disciplinary actions with staff. Sometimes short-term secrets are in the community's best interest. Over the past 8 years, I am most proud of the work the city has done to reconstruct and open our new pool. It is a beautiful pool that should last for many years. I know there are still some improvements coming, such as sunshades to protect the health of those using the facility. Although I was initially hesitant in and opposed to certain aspects of the downtown revitalization, I think it turned out great and was much needed improvement to our town. I'm excited to see the future of Railroad Park come to life, which will add another family-oriented gathering place to our town. I'd like to thank this council, previous members of the council, the mayor, Tiffany, Paula, and Paul for helping me grow as a person and as a council member. Thank you for the advice you've given me over the years, the different lenses you've encouraged me to see things through, and ultimately for not taking it personally if I still chose to disagree. This has been one heck of an opportunity, and I am so grateful for it. I hope to one day soon be back in front of our community asking for your trust and confidence again. Thank you, everybody.
With that, council? Tiff? You're gonna motion to sign die, right?
I need to before you leave.
No, yeah, they did.
You did that? Cause
They
I
did.
was in there. Okay.
Yeah, it was discussed.
Your findings of facts were good? You guys corrected those
Mhm.
properly? Okay. I wasn't in the room, sorry.
The number 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a gavel, right? So now the motion into it? There. Councilman Harjo, I forgot council comment. I apologize for that. Would you like to say anything?
Sure. Isaac Newton made famous a saying that if I've seen farther, it's by standing on the shoulders of giants. For us two coming into this role as fresh as we were, and to be able to rely on 4 years and 8 years of collective knowledge between the two of you, in total of 12, that has been a massive benefit to us. Your institutional knowledge, the challenges that you've faced, and the successes you've had gave us much guidance, and I'm thankful for that. Thank you both.
Thanks.
Daniel, I've always said that I learned from you. So that's my humble part coming out and saying that you taught me a lot. And then Becky, what I really appreciate about you is that we will disagree on things, but we'll still respect each other's differencing of opinion, and we'll carry forward to the next issue. And so I really appreciate and respect that about you as well. So
Thank you.
you'll be missed, both of you.
Thank you.
Councilman Harjo.
I'd like to hear our longest standing member maybe adjourn for us, sign die. If you'd so do, the honors.
The last time, meeting adjourned.
You ready for some phone friends?
Oh, yeah. All right, Mr. Councilman Sanders. Elect still. Okay. Got my stuff out here.
You want me to bring the flag up, or where you want to do this? You want to do it back here? Want me to move the chairs over?
Yeah, if you could do it up front. Yeah, if we, yeah, right by the flag, that's totally fine. I don't be friendly.
Do it the boss self. You're right here, my friend.
The semester.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Dun, 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 coming to you. The camera,
He'll get it.
gonna get him. You need to be in it, not me. Okay, you ready? The camera is good.
Yep. You need to move. There you go.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. I use mouthwash.
Okay. Okay, raise your right hand and you're gonna. I state your name.
I, Decker Lee Sanders,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho.
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho.
That I will faithfully discharge the duties of council.
It's too much. Chop it in half.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of counselor
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of counselor
of the city of Mountain Home, Idaho,
of the city of Mountain Home, Idaho,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Welcome, Councilman. Oh, here you
Oops.
probably want to get a good picture with that. Spouse or family.
There we go. What? Oh, what else?
You want one up here? They're better than me.
Emily, come here. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, this is my granddaughter.
Oh, yeah, Emily. History.
Oh.
Here you go. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Brian.
No, it's okay. Got it. Thank you so much.
Okay. You want to keep it?
This oath of office. I will give you the box.
Here. Want me to keep it?
Could someone please stand up for the box? Yeah, absolutely.
Brendan. Yep, bring it in.
All right. Are you in the photo? That's the most important. You guys ready? Okay, raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Brendan Thomas McCarthy,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho.
and the Constitution of the State of Idaho.
I will faithfully discharge the duties of counselor,
I will faithfully discharge the duties of counselor,
City of Mountain Home, Idaho,
City of Mountain Home, Idaho,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Welcome. Ben. Oh. You got it.
Okay. Can bring the little ones?
Kelsey, Liam, Dale.
All the munchkins.
Come on, Dale.
Come on. See with Daddy.
Oh, he's like, give me that gavel.
The things that make noise.
There we go. All righty. Yeah, actually, if you want to get down on their level, there you go. All righty. All right.
They're gonna stand up,
There
buddy.
you go.
You gotta stand up, buddy.
There you go.
Oh, tight.
Got it.
Right there.
Yes.
How many times?
We haven't seen these. Oh. Yeah. The best. Thank you. Thank you for taking such good care of us.
See, when you're done, we can't just give you a plaque. We have to parole you.
I know. So they'll call roll and
Yeah, I got you. And I got it. I wrote it down.
I missed it. The new software, every time I kept trying to add. Don't put it in here
No,
because it's like already formatted.
because you already did it.
in the
Yeah.
template.
I think you have to save each one as like a.
Yeah. I'm gonna do that here before you. Yeah.
You went to the EO. The laptops, right? Okay. I mean, not that you need one for the short. But that's- Yeah, yeah. That's mono.
Tucker's already finding out. It gets really hot.
Well, we have,
Body.
yeah. we have a
Yeah.
lot. I think it's probably at like 75, 80.
I don't see anything about this.
Okay. Gentlemen, we ready? Ready? Let's call the meeting to order. Tiffany, please take the roll.
Councilman Sanders,
Here, present. Yeah, I'll get used to it in a minute.
Councilman McCarthy,
Present.
Councilwoman Workler,
Present.
Councilman Harjo.
Present.
Mayor Sykes.
Present, let the record reflect that we do have a quorum. And I just want to state, gentlemen, that Tiffany didn't give me a sheet. So if I go, hey, Brendan, or hey, Decker, it's not, give me some time too. I'm trying to, the new names. At first I had one lady, then I had two ladies. And so with that, we'll run down to remarks. Congratulations. This job will be the most rewarding piece that you'll have, but it also the most challenging. And in Council Garvey's remarks, there's days that you're going to want to pull your hair out, and there's days that you're going to see the fruition of your labors. So with that, know that the staff and I are always here. Come on in. I know for a fact City Hall staff, they want to know who you are, all that. Come in, visit, sit down, take time. Our schedules are your schedules as well. We want you guys to have the most knowledge, the most, we don't have the information right then and there. We will get you the information. I think the ELT team is excited, something, new, so we're excited to see what you bring to the table, where we can get into the future, keep going that direction and see Garvey, Councilwoman Garvey and Councilman Brennan, that we're all up here as public servants and we try to do the best we can with what we have, and that we want to leave Mountain Home better than we found it. And I think we all take pride in that. And I think obviously you running for this service says that testament to your character. So I look forward to working with both of you. So please, you have my number. I don't know if we have another, but I'm not hard to find. If you have a question, call me anytime. You're going to go to new elect school, or not school, but here AIC elected officials, AIC. They're gonna tell you the do's and don'ts, which I'm hoping you do know the do's and don'ts. I know Councilman stuff we're working on, some of the things that he had to navigate in his first year or so. Those are a wealth of knowledge that he has provided. So definitely look into those. With that, I look forward to working with all you, and I know the ELT team and all the departments, city departments, are looking forward to see how we can move Mountain Home into 21st century. I'm excited. So with that, I'm going to run down to item number 2, remarks. Councilman McCarthy.
Thank you, Mayor. Seems my wife and the kiddos are gone, so a few more years in training. So I just have a few remarks, and I'll try to keep to my 3 minutes.
No, no, you have as you have elevated past the 3 minutes now.
Um, Good evening, Mayor, fellow council members, and members of our city staff. To my family, friends, neighbors, and the residents of Mountain Home joining us tonight and watching virtually, thank you. I want to begin by expressing my heartfelt gratitude to the voters of Mountain Home for giving me the opportunity to serve on the city council. I do not take your trust lightly, and I am committed to serve with integrity, diligence, and respect for all residents. To my campaign team and supporters who stood with me from the very beginning, to those who knocked on doors, made calls, organized events, and offered encouragement, this accomplishment belongs to you all as well. Your dedication and belief in our shared wisdom or vision made this possible, and I am forever grateful. I also want to thank my family here tonight and watching online abroad. You have been my foundation, not just during this election, but throughout my life. To my mother, thank you for instilling in me the values of integrity, perseverance, and service. Those lessons shaped me long before public service ever crossed my mind, and they continue to guide me today. To my lovely wife, who is taking our kiddos out for special treats for hanging out for so long, there are not enough words to express my gratitude. You have been my partner in every sense. Through the challenges, sacrifices, and uncertainties of public service, you stood beside me with strength, patience, and unwavering belief. You carried more than your share, so I could pursue this calling, and I'm incredibly blessed by God to have you in my life. To my children, you are my inspiration and my compass. When I think about Mountain Home's future, I think about the world we are building for you and all of our children who will grow up here. Every decision we make today shapes the opportunities of tomorrow, and I am committed to creating a city of safety, opportunity, and hope for this generation and those yet to come. As I begin my service, my priority is simple: to listen, to learn, and to lead with integrity. Mountain Home must grow responsibly while preserving the character and values that make our city special. That means supporting public safety, investing in infrastructure, encouraging responsible economic development, and keeping city government transparent and accessible. It means careful stewardship of the taxpayer's dollar and practical solutions that improve life for families, seniors, and local businesses. Progress happens when we work together, and I am committed to collaboration and open dialogue. I am guided by a quote that has long inspired me. Some men see things the way they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask why not. That spirit will guide me in my service. Why not work together to solve challenges? Why not plan boldly for the future while honoring our past? Why not believe that Mountain Home's best days are still ahead of us? I pledge to serve with honesty, respect, and dedication. This role is not about one voice. It is about representing all of you and working together for the common good. Thank you for the incredible honor of serving as your city councilman. God bless you, and God bless our city. Let's move Mountain Home forward together.
Good luck with that, Decker.
With that, Councilman Sanders, and see, this was not in any dirt. That was all Tiff's fault. We're gonna blame that one on Tiff.
Alphabetical.
So Councilman Sanders, you're up.
Really? Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ditto on 85% of what he just said. It's appropriate for me to thank the 871 people who, whether by blind luck, because it was the name they saw first on the ballot, or with the ultimate passion that I somehow was going to be the next coming of some deity, I thank all 871 of you that voted for me and voted for this city. During my campaign, I made a point that my process was to trust and verify, that I would be a representative who wants to be a public servant rather than a public official. And with that, while there's lots of platitudes and lots of quotes I come up with that all have wonderful meanings to each and every one of us, I simply will say, let's get the hard work started.
Well, we're going to start with new business action item deliberation decision to elect a new city council president.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Workla,
I'd like to make a motion to elect Councilman Decker Sanders as new city council president.
Second.
it's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the question, and I'm going to start down here. Councilman Harjo?
Aye.
Councilwoman Workla?
Aye.
Councilman McCarthy?
Aye.
Councilman Sanders?
Abstain.
Okay. We're gonna run down to action item. Oh, congratulations.
Funnier if you said nay.
Play the tape.
Yeah. We're gonna run down to action item deliberation decision on planning and zoning's commission recommendation findings facts for annexation with conditions. Council, what do you want to do?
Mayor?
Councilman Harjo.
Reviewing the documentation, understanding some of the history of that parcel, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the annexation. Or excuse me, approve the planning and zoning recommendations for findings of facts for annexation.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Sanders.
Aye.
Councilman McCarthy.
Aye.
Councilman Workla.
Aye.
Councilman Harjo. Run down to new business action item number 3. Dash 1B-1-E sidewalk, curb and gutters, 8-4-5 excavation fee and 8-4-6 bonding fee. Council, what do you want to do?
Mayor?
Councilman Harjo.
We've had a couple brief discussions around City Hall. Chris filled me in the other day on the duration of time since this code section has been updated. We're roughly 20 some odd years behind. And the purpose of this is to take those fees out of the ordinance and set them by resolution of the council. Gives us a lot more maneuverability, ease of public posting and that kind of thing. Yeah.
The motion.
Yes, I will make a motion to amend city code 8-1B-1 sidewalk curbs and gutter, 8-4-5 excavation fee, and 8-4-6 for the bonding fees.
Been a motion made. Do I have a second?
Mayor.
Councilwoman Workla.
Chris, can you clarify? Because the number 4, it says public hearing for those fees.
Councilwoman.
Go ahead, Tiff.
So we have to, there's several parts to it. So we have the ability to amend the ordinance, which has to come back and be read in our January 27th meeting, which then has to have it has to be published to be then official. And then you're going to host a public hearing because of the fee increase. So none of the fees would go into effect until after the public hearing.
Okay.
And then you would pass the resolution at that time.
Okay.
This is all just interclerical following process.
I'll second that then.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion?
Mayor.
Councilman McCarthy? Okay, sorry.
I have a question for Curtis, if I might.
Absolutely.
Chris, I know we're looking at increasing this fee. I know the reason we were kind of given was it's been a while since we've gone through the fee. I'm curious because we got a memo about the Tyndall subdivision project, the road construction and everything completed in that. And it sounds like we came under budget from there, which awesome, great. I'm just curious with this fee that we're looking for. Is there a reason besides just it's been 20 years since we've increased this fee?
Go ahead.
The reason that we're increasing the fee, is I looked at the salaries for the city staff that are conducting the inspections on these things. I looked at the cost of the concrete, filter, all the things that go into the replacement, the inspections and the maintenance of them. And I specifically looked at the cost associated with the fee that we were currently collecting. And to be very candid with you, if a contractor came in and wanted to actually leave a job and just these are all based on cost for the city staff and the cost for the materials, goods and services, today's value, not 2020.
No, thank you for the clarification.
So with that, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman McCarthy?
Aye.
Councilwoman Workla?
Aye.
Councilman Sanders?
Aye.
Councilman Harjo?
Aye.
Run down to new business action item number 4, deliberation decision to set public hearing for February 10th, 2026 on the increased street fees.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Workla?
make a motion to set a public hearing for February 10th, 2026 on the increase in street fees.
Second.
It's been motioned and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Harjo?
Aye.
Councilman Sanders?
Aye.
Council McCarthy?
Aye.
Councilwoman Workla?
Aye.
Trying to get my brain fixed in here on you guys. Sorry about that. All right, we're going to run down to new business. Number 5, action on deliberation decision to allow city staff to draft a formal agreement with Marathon Cheese to use the parking lot at Optimus during the facility expansion. My thought process on this was I could allow them to park there, but you know how everything someone likes, everyone's so happy. So I wanted to do more of a formal agreement and get that in front of you if that is doable. I don't want them just to, I could allow them to just park it on that empty lot, but I want to make sure that all I's are dots, T's crossed. If something were to happen, the city's not liable. So that's why I brought it before this body.
Mayor,
Councilwoman Workla?
I'll make a motion to allow city staff to draft a formal agreement with Marathon Cheese to use the parking lot at Optimus Park during the
Second.
It's been motion and seconded. Any further discussion? And for clarification, I just wanted you guys to know, it's not at the Optimus Rodeo Grounds. It's across the street over by the Hunter Safety Buildings. What are those called? I know it's the Hunter Safety, but like that area it's on. So if you're going to Marathon, Marathon's on the right, or Optimus is on the right. It'll be on the left-hand side, just for clarification. Councilman Harjo.
Before we take the vote on that, maybe some ideas that like the city can approach on this topic, making sure that we're not being too cumbersome on Elmore County Sportsman's use of those trailers, that they have access that is preserved in that. They do have a lease for that. I'm gonna say a 10-year duration. Road access, if PD and Public Works have any concern. Discussion about dust mitigation and maybe temporary, if that's necessary, in that space with, and what volume of trucks are coming and going. Just items to take into consideration.
Perfect. Thanks for that. Actually, yeah, thanks for that, Councilman. Okay, it's been motion and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilwoman Workla?
Aye.
Councilman Harjo?
Aye.
Councilman McCarthy?
Aye.
Councilman Sanders?
Aye.
All right. With that-
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman, we're going to go to the final comments. Councilman Sanders?
Mr. Mayor, in accordance with Idaho Code 74-204.4C, I move to add to the agenda a discussion only item. This item could not be requested earlier as some of the information necessary to have an informed discussion, which I requested under the Idaho Public Records Act, were just received earlier today. The discussion is the funding, timing, and conduct of the railroad.
Councilwoman?
Was that a motion?
It is.
Second?
So right now, all you have to do is just have 3 council. Usually if you just, I'll just put it on there anyways. Okay,
Mr. Mayor,
so
with
add-
respect,
just add it.
I consider this to be time sensitive and have as a potential financial impact. I would like to have the discussion this evening.
So can we add things to the agenda at the end?
Well,
The answer is yes. You can always amend. This being the first meeting of the year with a transition from new council to old council to new council. Normally you would do that at the beginning of the meeting at the.
Mhm.
But being that the meeting has been going on, this meeting has been going on for about 4 minutes at this point. I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
And then, and then the trick, which you read, so you know this, but is you cannot put it on the same meeting unless you demonstrate why there is an expediency, a necessity to have it on that meeting, and you just articulated it. That's fine.
That's good?
Yep.
Okay, it's been motioned, seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the question. Councilman Harjo?
Aye.
Councilwoman Workla?
Aye.
Councilman Brennan?
Aye.
Or sorry, Councilman McCarthy? Councilman Sanders? Aye, perfect. All right, with that, I'm going to let you take it.
And Mr. Mayor, Tiffany, I have my apologies to everyone. I have a PowerPoint presentation I'd like to throw up on the big screen. How do we get that there?
You joined into the meeting by Teams?
Brendan is. No?
Oh, maybe. Yes, I am.
Oh, good. Then I won't have to worry about having a clicker. I'll have one right next to me. And again, I apologize, members, for not having this information to you before the meeting, but as I said, several responses to my public records request didn't arrive until today. So my focus was on getting this into something other than chaos and trying to present it in a way we could have a heartfelt discussion on it. That's the one.
Is there a way to connect to me? Is it by Bluetooth or
Your,
HDMI cable?
are you in the Teams meeting?
No, not yet. I can.
Oh, yeah.
You
Yeah,
should,
go to your email and then for your calendar and it should have that Teams.
I just sent a request to you to attend.
Let's figure out how to do that for next time.
You Sam.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Screen.
You enable sharing. It doesn't allow me to share the screen. Saying only meeting organizers and presenters can share.
Stuff, counselor. Share.
Yeah. I have a lot of experience with
No,
Teams.
it's not popping up there.
There you go.
There we go.
From my window, it let me put the slider over. There.
Absolutely.
And with that, Councilman Sanders, the floor.
Mr. Mayor, thank you. First, folks, I want to go on clear on the record. I'm not opposed to the Railroad Park project. I believe there were some opportunities that may have made some tweaks that would have gone from good to great, but I'm not here to talk about those. I am not in opposition to improvements in Railroad Park. So to kind of understand the context of what I want to discuss, I'm going to have to go back in time a little bit. So I'm going to ask forgiveness over permission. There may be some things here that might ruffle some feathers. It was not intended to. It's simply a matter of trying to frame the context of the discussion. And with that being said, let me get to this. And I do apologize for PowerPoint slides. I go back and we start taking a look at this from my perspective back on April 9th of 2024. That was when the URA made their initial presentation to the council. If you've not had the opportunity to go view that video, I strongly advise you, if you have passions one way or the other about the park, to go back and view the video. In the video, folks from the URA said they had $2.1 million and anticipated future revenue sufficient to complete the project. They emphasized they could cover and fund the entire project, but they'd have to do it in phases because they had incremental funding. The estimated cost of the project from the land group at the time envisioned a $5 million project, and the slides from that presentation included, and the presenter described, having three funding sources: the URA, the city, and donations. There was a sidebar question between the mayor and councilmember Workla on in-kind. And in that sidebar conversation, forgive me if I don't paraphrase it exactly the same, I believe, and you guys can correct me because you actually were the ones that did it or had that discussion. There was a question about whether or not this was going to pull city workers off their jobs in order to work on the project. And that was answered in the affirmative. And there was a question of, well, how much is that going to cost? And the mayor very carefully laid out that there'd have to be a process of going through bids. It was going to take some time. But the one time he was thinking perhaps 20,000 in material and 10,000 in labor. Got my attention. The council went ahead and approved as action item number 2 under new business, going forward with an agreement with the URA on the funding. And then the council also agreed in that meeting to go out for an RFQ for the construction manager and the general contractor for the project. If we look at what the URA offered in terms of funding, this is their funding stream, starting with FY25 and the increments based on the testimony of Mr. Berman Solo about how they received their funding. You can see that over the course of the 5 years he was discussing, they could reach approximately $5.4 million. Let the computer catch up here. I changed it here. Oh, there it is. Now we have to jump a year later because there was an awful lot of activity that happened in that year. When the document came back for the agreement with the URA, there is inside that document at paragraph 3.5 where it discusses, and it talks about the URA partially funding. It also talks about the city having budgeted funds for the work. In the exhibits that were attached to A and B, in the packets that were received by the council members at that time, the pages were blank. So the bid estimates was not in the document presented to the council, and the item itself was on the consent agenda. The consent agenda was approved and passed. When I did a freedom of public information request for the fully executed URA agreement, I found that Exhibit B contained a preliminary budget totaling over $5 million, including an entire column marked city scope with an attributed value of $472,478. It also proposed in that document, budget document, a 3-year phase. Going back over and taking a look at how the URA had its funding stream and how the 3-year phase was set up, wound up total project budget winds up looking like this, and I'm talking total cost of everything. You'll notice the small slice, $472,748. That was the amount in that preliminary budget for the city's scope. The remaining $4.670 and change. That was going to come from the URA. That's the way that document described it. It actually shortened the duration of the project from a 5-year timeline to a 3-year timeline. When we get to the city council meeting of 14 October, the action item was there to approve the general maximum price for the project, or guaranteed maximum price. That was off a document that was dated for the revision 01 of 10/7/25. I want to make a little bit of a point here. Back in April, because it was on the consent agenda, because there were blank pages on the exhibits, although the city council could have dug through and asked for those documents, it went through on the consent agenda, and so that was not discussed. But in taking the vote, they bound the city to those numbers. They approved the document, which had a city contribution listed in hundreds of thousands of dollars. When we get to the October meeting, during that discussion of that action item, council members expressed concerns about wanting to make sure all the different funding sources had been secured, that it was not conjecture. There were some comments made that the discussions with the donor was for $2.8 million. Easily would have kicked the dollar value for the contract well within scope. And a comment that phasing would add roughly $500,000. But it was also commented as well, and rightfully so, that combining the URA funds with the donor's contribution should cover the full project. There was a later letter provided to the council dated November 6th that provided the original GMP budget amounts for all items identified to be provided by the city, which totaled at that time, these numbers again from the contractor, $522,048. That started quite a discussion amongst the council members. And if you go back and please go back and watch that video, there were at least two of them that were quite astounded to see the number. And this was all listed as the in-kind. But it also changed the phasing. Instead of the preliminary budget, which showed 3-year phasing under the original URA agreement, this proposed a single phase approach. Mr. Berman Solo also made a point when he was asked and was discussing this with council during that meeting, that the project was not the URA's. I will tell you, listening to the meeting in April of 24, I didn't get that impression from how the conversation went. So this one caught me a little bit by surprise. It's a city project, which means the initial thought about doing it, how to go about doing it, was done within city administration. Title 50, the Idaho Code for URAs, and this is the phrases used by the URA officer several times, is that the monies for that were to be used for slum and blight and economic development. And he really emphasized that the URA was all in. That's the term he used quite often. All in for this project, committed to funding the $2.8 million that they had as they had planned. There was a motion to table this until those numbers for the city for the in-kind could be nailed down further, and ensuring that all the project details were clarified, the financial responsibility was properly accounted for, including, and I hate for reading slides, but I'm sorry, I had to do this when I'm a little nervous. They were properly accounted for, including any work previously classified as in kind, and that passed. So looking at the GUHO, Guaranteed Maximum Price, Revision 01, the total project cost included 4.9 million in change of URA funds and 522,000 of in-kind from the city. So pre-donation, before we had the generous support of Pioneer Federal Credit Union, the pie kind of looks like this for the total project budgets. The 522 that the city had promised in kind, the $3.1 million, the URA, after discussions with the council and their meetings, found extra money, sharpened their pencil, and went from 2.8 to 3.1 million. That still left a project shortfall of $1.8 million. This was before Pioneer came online. With Pioneer's generous support, we now have what appears to be roughly $153,000 more than what the project costs. Now, here's the part where I get concerned. Special council meeting, all the items were passed. This is history. You can go look at it. It got the ball rolling, got us to the point where tomorrow we are and should have a ribbon cutting ceremony. I actually plan to be there. When I check the numbers, the multi-phase approach, if I look at the project totals back from the original preliminary budget in April of 25, project total was just over 5.1 million. 472 of that was city scope, and it had 3 phases. With the single phase budget, the guaranteed maximum price was listed at $4,946,974. But all of the estimated city in-kind work on that document, the GMP Rev 01, shows $0 amount. It was only after receiving the letter on November 6th, we found that the city's in-kind contributions, showing on 0 in the budget for the contract, actually was estimated to be over $500,000 from the city. The project total then was $5,468,000. Go into the single phase, it didn't save us money. What you have here in the white square is a copy of the portion of the document from the December 16th meeting that was handed out as the members are. Here I want to point out a distinction. The first number in the white box shows it as total cost. That is not entirely correct. It is the GMP's Rev 1 contract cost. It is not the cost of the entire project. It properly shows 3.1 million of URA, the $2 million. Yes, you come up with the $5.1 million, which appears to be based on the contract cost for construction, not the total project price, to have an excess of $153,000. That document also suggested that those excess funds could be moved to the city to help defray some of the in-kind costs. And if we were to do a simple math around the amount that's over and the amount of the estimated in-kind, you can see that would still leave about $368,000 in remaining in-kind costs to the city. Now, please consider this. I believe there's some economic collateral damage being done, inadvertently, unintentionally, but consider this. When you look at Idaho Code, Chapter 50, 2003, this is for the URA. There is a paragraph in there, and I've taken part of it. But I think it's important to look at this because it says that you have to encourage private enterprise. It doesn't say you have, but it says that URA, to the greatest extent it determines to be feasible in carrying out the provisions of their job, shall afford the maximum opportunity consistent with the solid needs of the municipality as a whole to the rehabilitation or redevelopment of the urban renewal area by private enterprise. A municipality shall also give consideration to this objective in exercising its powers under this act. URA dollars come from a very unique flow of tax dollars. They're all corporate. When you spend corporate tax dollars back into the community, you're giving an economic boost to the businesses inside the community. For the Railroad Park project, in-kind, city in-kind, denies that $522,000 influx of funds derived from corporate taxes to our local trade professionals. Despite having the opportunity for 2 budget settings in both 25 and 26, there was no discussion of the revenue budget to be allocated to Railroad Park project, the expense budget lines. And I can't tell you how many city council meetings went on during that time. Materials on hand for city work, if you use it in the project, you're going to eventually have to replace it. And probably not the cost you originally acquired it. Your labor costs are for times that has already been allocated for doing on the city's CIP and on the city's work plans. And every dollar of in-kind work performed by the city will need to be replaced with funds generated through city revenue streams, which eventually goes back to the citizens. If you estimate the in-kind provided by the city to lower the cost of the contract, and those funds are not being used to hire local tradesmen, the funds are not flowing into the community from the URA, there's your $500,000. But if you also take into account the estimated amount of revenue needed to replace that in kind, you got another $500,000, and that gets drawn from the local economy being taxes, fees, rates increases over times, and other revenues. So you've got a potential for a total negative economic impact of over $1 million. Now, is that an exact figure? No, it's potential, because we've never had the city provide the exact numbers of what the in-kind is going to cost. We've been forced to rely on the numbers provided by the contractor. Now, I'm not sounding gloom and doom because it's avoidable. We can avoid that $1 million potential economic impact. We can avoid it by waiting until FY27, when the URA receives its next quota from the funding stream. Because with the $2 million provided by Pioneer and the FY27 allocation of funds and the firm commitment of the URA to actually get all in on this project, they will have in FY27 $3.653 million. Along with Pioneer's generous donation, we have all the funds necessary to complete the total project, not have dollars that are available through corporate taxes not go back to boost the economy. And it's really got me running, Mr. Mayor, when you think about it. We've got a staff report that was brought to us and from the Economic Development Department. And in that staff report, they highlight the development and sustaining of the trades as one of the major factors that could be an economic boost for us. But we may inadvertently, by rushing to get this started, cost our local economy almost $500,000, plus the cost to recoup what it is we use in kind. So for the purposes of the discussion, you can see now why I did not want to wait to have this discussion. If there's part of this that looks like it's really real, and I think it is, then I think we need to consider whether or not we need to look, is the 1 year's worth of time worth potentially $1 million?
Councilman Harjo? Councilman Sanders, I appreciate the effort that you put into this. There are a couple points to trace back to because we covered a lot of things. In one of the comments you mentioned that between the URA sharpening their pencils, between April of 25 and October of 25, the city, Anthony Guho and Guho Corporation, the Land Group, Radine and Associates, and the URA, and then later in that process with Pioneer regarding the donation, had conservatively probably 24 meetings where the nuance of block numbers as you've presented them really got down to the fine details. And I was party to a couple of those meetings. Happened to walk into one of them. The one that I remember the most was to discuss what Mountain Home Railroad Park's CMGC budget was. That was the itemized budget, looking at a phased approach. And frankly, having been party to those discussions, I disagree with your assessment of the phased approach costing less than the one and done single approach. These were all nuanced conversations that did happen in that time. Literally line by line, item by item through that budget of what was necessary to the project, what the assumptions were by the CMGC in scoping the project, and what the customer, the city of Mountain Home and its residents, really needed out of that project. In the initial instance of that phased approach, more or less, we were going to get a depot building that was fleshed out enough to accommodate the future growth of what that park was scoped to be, and a parking lot for, I think it was $2.8 million, if I remember correctly at the time. In fact, I could probably scroll down and find that. $2.77 million. That being said, there was a lot of internal discussion amongst the administration who does steer those things in terms of what the product is, and said, we can go through here. I'll cherry pick a handful out. CMU masonry wall that goes around a garbage enclosure that would be built in phase 1, but the garbage enclosure wouldn't actually occur until phase 3. In the meantime, the city is paid for mobilizing in and out equipment, construction trailer, fencing, project fencing, and with each one of these nuanced pieces, there was significant cost reduction. The tree grates and frames. Prior to any of us as council members sitting up here in the downtown project, it was identified that cast iron grates around the trees were not ideal because the cities had the experience with them, relied on other cities and their experience with them, and it was decided at that point that $52,000 worth of tree grates didn't need to be. So while I appreciate the forensic that you've been able to accomplish by the public records request, there are also a great many details that happened within City Hall, within URA meetings, within those discussions with Anthony. I was on a couple of the Zoom calls regarding that, and there's a great amount of detail that steers why that concept became a thing. Having been a part of the council when Pioneer came to the table and made their offer to donate, I was not at that discussion, but I was at the following meeting that it was discussed. And in that, it was a massive donation, an investment into the community from a private corporation to the people of the city of Mountain Home. And while I appreciate the approach, I feel like the target of this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, the target of this is to delay the project further on the assumption that there is collateral economic damage. But I would counter that with, we have a CMGC who does not have to mow in, mow out 3 times. For them, that means Anthony Guho and his team can take more projects. The donation of Pioneer at $2 million comes back to us as our partner in a funding resource, now has an available $2 million before they sunset that they would have paid in this phased approach, that now they can do more projects within the revenue allocation zone. So while I think the effort I appreciate, the detail, unfortunately, you gentlemen were not here for those conversations. The council that was here made firm decision on what was available. We had legitimate question. At times we were able to be present at one meeting, somebody was present at another meeting, and a lot of good things got done. And when I say got done, this effort seems, and I'm not trying to make it, for lack of a better term, like this effort seems to be undermining the previous council's decision. Like this project is agreed to. We have agreements with the URA as a funding source. We have agreements with Pioneer. To go make modification to that now seems, much as you started your conversation out with, that it is an insult, frankly, and not just an insult to the sitting council at the time, but to every entity that was involved in that process for months. And I I don't see the reality in it. I don't see the accuracy in the numbers. And I'll leave it at that.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Sanders.
with all respect to your with your comments, Councilman Harjo, how much is the city actually providing dollar-wise and in kind?
In the mayor,
Councilman Harjo.
in the conversation that we're having now, the concept as you've started it out mentioned that there was some manner of imperative nature to this moment. The council who made that decision, just like councils that made decisions that Councilwoman Werkel and I came in and adopted, we not only respected those, but came in with the understanding of those. This, again, this is an awesome effort right out of the gate, but it is lacking in the context in order to be accurate and have a conversation. But as well, I have to ask this simple question: is the goal to delay the project at this juncture and to undo what has already been done?
Councilwoman Workla.
I've been asking from day one that number. I want that number, right? And so that's why I think I've been the only one that has been voicing and struggling. And I appreciate you so much, Councilman Sanders, for putting it on paper, right? So we can visualize and see it. I support that, what you said. Is this a discussion only, Paul, or can this be? So this is just a discussion. So I will support anything that you want to do to make this.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Sanders.
every dollar the city spends to support this project, when there are funds that could be available that do not draw upon the resources of this city, every one of those dollars then replaces or takes the place of that current or future URA dollar that's coming in. That's money that will not go out in subcontracts into the community. I would prefer to avoid that. And if avoidance means we exercise the GUHO contract under its terms and conditions, and I'm specifically referencing, Paul, Article 8 and 12, then we have those as tools as this council weighs whether or not we want to carry on with it, knowing the potential of not making the maximum use of what's available solely based upon time.
So you're saying, so when we broke it down, the 500 and whatever it was, and then we got it down to 4 and change or whatever it was. So that was for Anthony to do the work himself. City steps back out. We don't do nothing. He does everything. Obviously if we do it, we're not paying the, whatever a contractor uprates everything, 35, 40, I don't know what it is. So don't quote me on that one. So that was the number, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jeff, that was the number Anthony gave us that if he had to do all that work, right? And so I assume that the pipe that I think Tiffany got, Councilwoman Garvey, the storm pipe, the water pipe. What else am I missing that we gave Councilwoman Garvey? So that entirely, like, so that was the number that we took that Anthony would, that was the contract number that if he were to do the work, that's what he would charge us. Like if we just stepped away and said, okay, we're not going to use in-kind work. And so for us to do the in-kind work, that was his team going in, digging out, trenching out everything. And we all know that that's really expensive stuff. Those contractors that do all that site work, site prep, site, all that. And so I think that's where a lot of that funding from Anthony was from. So, but I don't understand an economic loss of $1 million if we're bringing it to fruition and having people come down and spending their hard-earned money downtown Mountain Home and all that. So when we did the pool, we used in-kind work. So are you saying that since we did the pool, we did I'm just gonna say $1 million of economic disservice to the city of Mountain Home by
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Sanders?
I don't have those records in front of me. I would not even dare to try to make an assertion in that area. I will simply say that as this presents today,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a question. I am not questioning the legality of the city providing in kind. The statute's very clear that cooperation between the URA and municipalities is encouraged. What I'm looking at is that being a form of revenue coming from a different tax stream that must, by its very nature, has to be paid for inside its project area.
Correct.
So when for every dollar we can make the maximum use out of the URA, which said they were all in on it.
Mhm.
They were ready to commit their resources until they actually had to sine die. And every one of those dollars get contracted to Anthony or one of his subcontractors, then that money's coming back into our economy
Mhm.
directly. It's a stimulus for those businesses. It provides benefit to the community. But every dollar the city spends in kind takes that URA dollar off the table. And then we also, as a city, when we go to replace those in-kind costs, have to take a dollar from our taxing streams, our funding streams, which is based not on corporate, but on citizenry. And we've got a timing window. Because you think back to it, when this was first pushed out, the timeline was 5 years.
Mhm.
They were ready to start in 24. Mr. Berman Solo, Mr. Valley made it clear they had $2.1 million at the time and they could launch today and get the thing rolling. So this was never about the start. When Pioneer donated $2 million, and when they looked at a phased approach, the extra monies were meant to move up the completion date, to take a project that was scheduled to run in its from start to finish of the project multiple years, down to 3, down to 1. Great. And the URA was willing to fund all of it, but there was a timing problem. So now, because we've had other delays, we've had multiple meetings, we've had coming up on 2 years now, getting to the point of saying go, that funding stream at URA has kept adding to the pot and closing that gap to where no city money, no city time had to be used for that project. And all those corporate tax dollars that have to be spent in the project area can be spent in the project area and be supporting our local trades in the process. They're 1 year away. Actually, I'm a year. FY27 funding stream puts the URA in a position with the Pioneer donation to total project cost be covered, the city not have to spend a single dollar.
Mayor.
So my question comes back, if you can't tell me, well, even if it's a dollar, that's $1 we're taking off the table. It's not a matter of who can do it for less. It's a matter of whose money are we spending and whose money do we want to recoup? And is that amount of impact? I don't know if it's $1 million for sure. I don't know. I have the ballpark figures that are public knowledge, not backdoor meetings, not other public meetings not put out in the record. And I appreciate the work that goes through that. I know I've picked through budgets that way myself. But the funding stream says if I use this one, it goes in the economy and the city's not under the hook to do anything. But as soon as I pay for a city dollar, not only do I have to keep that one off the table, the URA dollar we're not going to get, I got to replace that dollar somewhere. So right now, timing wise, from the URA being able to fully fund this and the city not have any in-kind work at all, we're 1 URA tax allocation away. Is it worth it?
Mayor.
Councilman Harjo.
These contracts have been executed. The agreement with Pioneer stands. There's, again, been years worth of work to get to this point. And again, I'll emphasize the lack of nuance to what drove those decisions. And what the information is as accurate as you could get it by what information that you could get your hands on in the moment, but it is incomplete. It's also comes to question if you move forward with the action that you're proposing to push this to a delay. What does that do to our contract for donation with Pioneer? Are they willing to? Because none of this was captured in that. Anthony Guho's prices will definitely go up between now and then. Definitely, because they've already gone up. And the staff, URA and Guho, have had, again, dozens of conversations about the cost of projection to when the actual start date is and what the actual cost is. And there's a lot of projection that goes into that. So again, if you want to move the goalpost out farther, it is going to cost more money in the total project. But as well, you've made mention several times that Mr. Berman Solo has made comments about back in April of the revenue stream and what that would look like in the phased approach. But as he sat here during the special meeting in December, he made very specific comment that the URA is very happy that $2 million of their revenue is now available because of Pioneer's gracious donation, that the project being a single phase and moving forward now on the currently reset schedule, that they will have $2 million more to expend in the revenue allocation zone. So I appreciate the effort. I think it means well on the surface. It lacks a lot of context. It lacks a lot of detail. And quite frankly, like it's probably going to put us in an awkward situation, if not a legal situation, with the executed items that we've already agreed to as a council.
Councilman Brennan. Or Brent, I'm sorry, Councilman McCarthy.
We'll
I'm
get there
sorry.
someday.
Sorry.
May I ask for clarification? With the agreement on the railroad park, wasn't it passed with the understanding that part of the contingency fund in the contract was going to be used to help with this supposed shortfall?
Yeah, I do believe so.
There's the contingent built into it.
But the contingency, sorry, Mayor.
Oh, yeah, all right, go ahead.
But the contingency fund is being helped or used to vitalize that gap, correct? Was that part of the sharpening the pencil? While I understand Councilman Harjo's points, I also understand Councilman Sanders' points as well. I believe it's one of those of, yes, we can hear that $2 million is freed up in that. My concern is if we're using up contingency fund, what happens when something comes out of it in the project where now we're looking at, well, we have no contingency funds to cover that expediting, or we're covering change orders or anything of that such nature. To me, that seems like that's going to have to come back to the city, correct?
I thought we had worked it to where it was all in. That's all you had. And we've told Anthony, sorry, there's no change.
That's correct. The max price is the max price with the built-in
With
number already
built-in.
added into it.
Mayor,
Councilman.
I would like to see specific language on that because I think it's one of those that if I sit here and think about projects that we've had in the city, how many times have we run into with the project, the downtown revitalization, the lighted intersection at 18th and American Legion? There were cost overruns. There were change orders in that. And so for me, it's one of the, how are we setting up? Again, I can understand Councilman Harjo's comments of, executed contracts and everything, but I believe it's one of these that I think a warranted discussion of what's protecting it from coming back of, well, yes, we might have $2 million that's freeing up that we could be using. However, well, now we're doing $522,000 in in-kind work. Sorry, going off of Councilman Sanders' presentation. Well, now what if we have a cost overrun or change order? Are these stamps, concrete stamps with the Pioneer logos and all that, is that being considered a change order? I mean, all these things.
So whatever, if Anthony goes over 4.9, that's his problem. That's not city's problem. That's right. That's the understanding from Idaho that we told him. That's the max price. That's all you get. No more, no less. And if you have to do a change order, that's on you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Sanders.
um,
Paul?
Paul, I'm going to encourage you to take a look at that Guho contract. When I went through it, I found about 17 references where the guaranteed maximum price could be equitably changed around change orders, around other items of construction. I don't see where that language was stricken. So the contractor, from my reading, has multiple ways to make the guaranteed price be not just what's on the revised budget once we get into the construction of the actual. And since all the drawings I was able to access on the public record, Guho's drawings for the project being certified as of September 30th, before the Pioneer donation was finalized, I have a concern that our first change order will in fact be whoever's going to actually install the different branding we are now committed to. But Councilman Harjo, let me go back and try to address some of your concern. I think there needs to be a further discussion with the key players to see what that level is. Pioneer's biggest concern when the CEO came in and said an open, they did not want to see a protracted construction. They wanted it done in 6 months. They didn't say when they wanted it done. We were giving them those dates. Their desire was that once started, it got to completion. The URA has already vocalized its intent behind funding. And the notion that it frees up $2 million for them, if they're committed to the project and they can pay for it, they're still going to have over $1 million plus left over. But I don't believe the current guaranteed maximum price is going to be the final price here. So the more I have the URA's funding attached to this, the better off we're going to be. If we get down to the bottom line and we're a few thousand, $100,000 off, then current statute allows us to actually budget city revenues for that and give it to the URA to complete that work. I'd be okay with that because we'd be at the end of the road and the URA would have done everything they said they were going to from the outset. From the start to the end of the project, they were behind it all in.
Councilman Brennan. Or sorry, Councilman McCarthy. I'm gonna get it
You'll
right.
get there.
Give
You'll
me the
get
next
there.
reading.
Chris, I don't mean to put you on the spot. The in-kind work that the city is proposing to do looks like it's compaction work. We're doing the trenching and out for the wastewater pipes, all that and everything.
Pipes, wastewater pipes, rubbing, chain.
Has that been determined? What kind of hours and workload we're looking at? How many hours? Equipment, all of that.
Have a timeline for it.
A timeline for it.
Have a timeline for it. It's posted in the schedule that was provided.
So forgive me on this. I'm just going to be point blank on this.
Sure.
If we're doing the in-kind work, what projects are going to be pushed out budgeting for last budget cycle season that, you know, could potentially become out of it because it's in-kind work? If that makes sense. Sorry, I could phrase that differently. Nothing?
Just like with the pool, we were capable of doing multiple at one time. No given period of time that they're going to be committed for weeks. Sections that they'll be to the pool, we were able to balance it then. We could do. So we don't have a big lot. 3 projects we're looking on. We can definitely.
said streets, which I had noticed some of the crack sealing was getting done in that. So just to ask my question again. So we're saying that streets, none of the projects that we had budgeted for 26 is going to be impacted because of this in-kind work,
They won't.
even though we're paying out salaries and everything from this.
I think most of the time we look at it like the snow's supposed to be flying, and that's where we budget for a lot of that. And right now it's been crazy weather or lack thereof of snow and that kind of stuff. So, all right, council.
Mayor,
I s-
I'm sorry. Were you gonna say
Go ahead, council.
something? I'm sorry. No, you go ahead. I interrupted you.
Nope,
Sorry.
go ahead.
Should we have a special?
Mr. Mayor, I would support it. I would support a special meeting. I'd recommend it happen as quickly as can be done. And whether the action is to continue as we currently are, or to work with partners to suspend or use other avenues available within the CUO contract to address this gap and this potential impact. I think that discussion is worth having, and we settle the question once and for all by public vote by the council.
Mayor.
Councilman Brennan or McCarthy, Councilman McCarthy.
I will iterate that I am not against the railroad park project. As Councilman Sanders had stated, I think it is great. But I will support having a conversation with all the URA, Pioneer, ITD, all of that to answer these questions once and for all. So I will support a special meeting for that.
Okay, and council, what date would you like to have this special meeting?
Uh,
Because obviously tomorrow there's a
we're
groundbreaking.
all gonna be at the ribbon cutting, right?
Well, not necessarily. If we go and have a special meeting and you say, well, nope, I want to wait till 27, 28, then there's no reason to have a groundbreaking ceremony because Guho's supposed to be there tomorrow and actually start work tomorrow. So I guess at the end of the day, I'm just trying to figure out, are we not like we've executed everything? They're supposed to start work tomorrow. I mean, what do we do with that, Paul?
I don't know. The one comment that Councilmember Harjo said, and that one that's sticking in my craw is, I don't have any of these documents in front of me, but I don't want to be in a situation where I'm entertaining a potential breach of contract on our part for what we've obliged ourselves to undergo. So everything that Councilmember Sanders said, I understand the logic behind it all. And the benefit to the city of utilizing another tax entity's funding mechanisms, which had it taken the 5-year timeline and it would have been within their revenue. To the extent that I don't know the answer at this point, and I take well that in all of these boilerplate contracts that you see, that you always try to build in multiple ways that they can do change orders. And so I'd have to take a look at that too, and what was engaged after the fact. But to the extent that ground is being broken tomorrow, that certainly makes me understand the expediency of talking about this tonight. I believe that if all the parties that be wish to convene to discuss potential changes to the agreements, that would be a voluntary modification to the agreements. I do not believe we can unilaterally say we're going to do it this way and we're going to delay it another year, probably without running afoul of these agreements that, right or wrong, the city is executing. So that makes me nervous. And this is all without me having a working knowledge at the moment of what the timelines are and when thou shalt break dirt on this date and first payment shall be on this date, all those things in the terms of it. I don't have that in front of me. I don't know what it says, but if the agreements are all executed, you can't just shove it in front of me now.
I just
Uh,
emailed them all to you.
Yeah. Anyway, that is my concern.
Councilman, Sanders,
He'll come to you.
I know. This, this information, and I know we got it today. These are the conversations I wish here in the future that you and I can have. Come on in, or I'll come to you, whatever. We sit, we talk, we get Tiff and Chris or whoever, and figure out, like, I guess I'm trying to figure out the $1 million thing here. It's still rolling. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch, you know what I mean? I hope in the future that you and I and whoever, all the council knows they come in. But like, here in the future, like, because right now we're in a conundrum, like, do I call everybody and say, I don't want to be sued. I don't want the city to, well, let me rephrase it. It will more likely, if we break the agreements or whatever, there's something in there, for sure. Agreements that says, yeah, we have our costs of whatever. So that's my only worry. So but I understand where you're coming from. I really do. And I want you to know that I'm in a rock and hard place right now. You know what I mean?
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman.
yes. But I'm gonna throw out a quote as close as I can get it right. And it's Jonathan Miller. And his quote was, I'll pull it out. I am not responsible for the past, but in so much as I do nothing, present it creates. And so I broached the subject. I know that in order to have a special meeting, you gotta have at least 24 hours notice post agenda. That takes Wednesday out of the picture. It does leave Thursday. And in the discussions that come with that, if we send a very sincere invitation to the partners involved and have them be part of the discussion, then this issue can be discussed and we can take an action which settles it once and for all, which is what I think everybody needs going forward.
Mayor.
So for me, as a staff, executive staff, I look at it completely. I look at it as a training opportunity. Street department or wastewater department or water department. They don't always get those opportunities. And for them to be able to go out and backhoe, grader, these are valuable opportunities. So for me, I look at it as a training opportunity. Now, Mr. Curtis said he didn't have the value yet, so because we don't know how many hours it is, but to have our guys go out there and work on a major project is invaluable to the city. Because currently they go out in an emergency situation. This is a training opportunity that I'm sure both of you are very familiar with, and you, Councilwoman Warkla, you're in the military. It's a training opportunity for our staff to go out and learn in a safe environment, not an emergency situation. But that's how I look at it on my side. Just another food for thought.
Councilman Harjo.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Councilman McCarthy.
And I completely understand training. I guess from my perspective of it, training comes from an environment where it's potentially not going to cost us or there's a liability to change orders or installing, water, sewer. I know the idea has been floated, and correct me if I'm wrong, about when the grant for the Cell Lagoon number 10 didn't come through twice. And that makes me a little worried with the liability in that. So while I understand the training aspect of it, I just want to make sure that we are not going to get an unforeseen cost that comes out of it. And I'll use an example. Chris, I feel like I'm just putting you on the spot tonight. I'm sorry. Thank